Don't do it. Don't do it. We can be friends. Don't do it. Oh. Oh, you did it. You did it. I Expect You to Die 2 is a VR game in which you take on the role of a super spy, getting yourself in and out of various situations. It plays out like a very immersive escape room. It's obviously a sequel to I Expect You to Die 1, the first game, of the same premise and vein. I Expect You to Die 2 is not an early access, so it is a full released game. Going into the devs, Shell Games is a mid-level game producer and it puts out many good content games with an emphasis lately on VR games such as I Expect You to Die 1 and Until You Fall. Until You Fall is this roguelite hack-and-slash VR game that they made. Both of these games were received very well. It should be noted this game isn't a long game, coming in at around 4 to 6 hours, depending on how good you are at puzzles. Its price comes in at $25 USD. Let's talk about the gameplay. The VR is actually done really well. It's a game made for seated play, and I had no motion sickness issues during my entire playthrough of the game, and I did most all of it at once. This game doesn't hold your hand too much, so the puzzles are mostly figured out via trial and error. Dying is a common way to find out these puzzles in one way or another, and it's mainly used as a way to learn how to do these different puzzles. The motion controls and the telekinesis are done quite well. I didn't have any issues with things not responding or lagging, which, as we all know, can be a common issue for a lot of these VR games. Before we get into the good, I just want to take a second to thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. It's going to help a lot. It's going to help us make more of these review videos. Let's get into the good. This game oozes style. Whether it's the very fun to experience intro,
From the background, you can hear me.
the luxury aircraft that wants to kill you, or the stakeout van that you retreat back to plan your next missions, style is everything in this game. This game does take a shift in a different direction for the most part from the first game. There are more missions where you're infiltrating and pretending to be someone else rather than just escaping a place or destroying things, which I think is a really nice change of pace for the second game. The puzzles are, in my opinion, the perfect amount of difficult. Not so terrible that I want to bash my head against a wall, but not so easy that the game felt like a breeze. They do feel just a little easier than the original game's puzzles, but not by much. The nature of the infiltration atmosphere that this game has makes for fast decisions that reward you for paying attention to the different details hidden in the environments, which is extremely satisfying. The art style. The art is beautiful. The game is beautiful. I mean, what else can I say? It's all in all a great experience to look at, filled with good detail. Sound design. The music, especially in the opening sequence, really puts you into that spy, James Bond feeling. Really gets that down. The sounds are as much of a cue as anything with these puzzles, like hearing the ticking of a grenade before it's about to go off, or the sound of panels opening up out of view, or clicks behind them. All in all the sound is done very, very well. The physics are also getting put in the good category. They're very important for a VR game, and the physics are well done here. It's satisfying to throw things, it felt good and fun to pour drinks in the glass. They're actually really cool effects for the liquids. You can see them move and are influenced by gravity inside glasses. Glasses break, fires start, all that good stuff. If, a bit simplistic at certain times. The telekinesis feels really good to use, and the hover function is great for the style of escape room games, just being able to put things in view so you can reference them later, or be able to quickly grab them. Let's talk about the bad. There's really only one item on the docket here, and it's kind of minor, and that's going to be the story. I Expect You to Die 2 has more of an in-depth story than its predecessor, though not to a great degree, which is just as well, as the story doesn't have much of a hit. I don't think it's that big of a deal, however, as the environments and puzzles are where the game shines, and the story is mostly a medium to get you to the next puzzle, and less a force of its own. The villain is obvious just by the opening sequence of the game, which is fine, but he never develops into anything interesting with this, unfortunately. It's not a huge negative, but it isn't anything special either. It's worth noting that despite this, the voice acting is vastly improved from the first game, especially from the handler, and it features Will Wheaton voice acting the villain, and he does do quite well as you would expect. In conclusion, I Expect You to Die Too is a flashy, cool looking, cool feeling, and well stylized game. All in all, I'd say it has a rating of 6 glasses of champagne.